Listen, I'm running a full company, but technically I'm a solo founder. When I launched this thing, I was doing everything. Emails, cold out.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens.
Diddy may have been acquitted of some pretty big charges at his criminal trial, but he still was convicted of 2. So what's next for him in terms of sentencing, his finances, facing a wave of lawsuits, including a brand new one from a former exotic dancer who claims Diddy drugged and assaulted him, caused him to lose teeth and have to get gastric surgery? We're going to talk about it all right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. Morgan & Morgan, they're to really. That's the question. And also, will the government seize his assets? What about all of those civil lawsuits that he faces? Again, a lot of questions, a lot to get into. So for all of this, let me bring on former sex crimes prosecutor and criminal defense attorney, the great Matt Murphy is with us. Matt, good to see you.
Happy to be here, as always.
Got to ask you your reaction to the verdict. Is it what you expected?
Well, hearkening back to, I don't know, we were talking about this, you and I, a couple of months ago, and I got to say, you know, whether it's fun to be right or not in a case like this, we were both right. This was never a good fit for RICO for a lot of different reasons, and the consent element regarding the sex trafficking was always problematic. And I thought the prosecution here did a good job presenting their case. They did a good job presenting their theory. But when you match in a trial context, when you match like professorial and kind of plotting, which is the way a lot of government lawyers are, versus dynamic and engaging and that personality of the defense, it's always a mismatch. You're always up against it. And the Mann Act, like we talked about, I thought he was going down on that after like the second day of testimony. The problem is for the prosecution, the Mann Act is a very old law, and it was essentially legislative morality from about 100 years ago, where it was
What is up, James and Chris? How you guys doing? Nice to have James and Chris in the chat. Thank you for watching. Big sippers only.
Transporting prostitutes across state lines. The intent may have been good. It was essentially a very early version of sex trafficking, but it was really more an attempt to stop prostitution, which is, as we know, never going to happen. So almost every lonely guy in New York City who's going through a divorce, who is having a problem in the dating pool, who has some sex worker drive over from New Jersey, if he buys her Uber or his Uber, theoretically that's a violation of the Mann Act. So that is it's not the same type of crime. There's no mandatory minimum under federal law. The judge does not have to. Right, they don't have to. Now, it carries up to 10 years per event, so he faces up to 20 years. The prosecution, I think, is asking for 46 months or something like that. They're asking for far less than that.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
If the case was, if they had called, let's say, Christina Quorum, okay, this chief of staff who had been mentioned, I think, by almost every witness, and she said, hey, listen, there was a criminal enterprise, okay? We were all a part of it. Everybody knew what the job description was. My job was to do this. His job was to do this. You think they would have gotten racketeering? If they didn't include Jane, who was arguably the more problematic testimony, I mean, Sean Combs still paying her rent, messages that she was setting up a lot of these sexual encounters. Cassie had messages too that were problematic that showed, if we're talking about whether she was a willing participant or not, but if you focus just on Cassie, and you didn't call in Jane, or you didn't call in Amia, or you didn't call in a Brianna Bengolan, if you limited the case, and now it's so easy to play, Monday morning quarterback or armchair lawyer here, but do you feel that the prosecution could have won this case if they structured it differently, if they called different witnesses?
That's a great question, and that's something that these prosecutors will literally be wondering for the rest of their lives, for the rest of their careers. They're going to be wondering if they'd done it differently, would the impact upon the jury and would the result have been different. The fundamental problem, I think, is that this was kind of always a round peg in a square hole. The arson, that domestic violence video that we all watched, that's horrific. All of that should have been prosecuted as state crimes in Los Angeles. That as a fundamental, starting point.
Well, they couldn't do it now. It's time barred.
No, of course.
How's everybody doing? Diddy party will resume shortly. What's up, unknown?
Really, that would have been, he would have been prosecuted for exactly what he did instead of predicate acts into a RICO theory. Now, RICO, as we know, was designed.
Glasses are dope. Thank you, Seymour. I appreciate that, sir.
And the idea is simply because there's a legitimate business, like in The Godfather, they had a legitimate olive oil importing business, and that was but it was still a criminal enterprise. The real thing was the mafia. The real thing was the organized crime surrounding the Corleone family, to use an example that everybody can probably relate to. So simply because their olive oil importing business was legitimate, that's not a defense to a RICO thing. That's the current state
Diddy
of the law.
done did it.
What they did here is they took a business that was always legitimate, Bad Boy Records, that was always and the purpose is to make music and make money. Everything surrounded that, and the defense argument, which they obviously argue very effectively, was that is not a criminal enterprise. So the very first element of RICO has always been problematic from the very beginning. You and I talked about that 2 months ago when this whole thing started, and and the jury, this was a sober jury. That the questions were serious and direct, and they sent that note out regarding juror 25 right at the very beginning, saying, "Hey, this guy's not deliberating," and so this was a serious group, and the Mann Act, they did convict on that, so they were. By the fact that that it was unanimous meant that they were getting along. Federal juries tend to be.
I'm drinking beer and eating a whole link of salami right now. It feels like heaven. Nice, Seymour. That sounds nice, bro. I'm happy for you, sir.
California, anyway, we have they draw our state juries off the DMV database. That's how you get jury duty, is from the DMV. Federally, it's based on voter rules. So it's people who are conscientious enough to actually vote, and you tend to get a more serious class of juror in federal court, which I think is interesting. So to answer your question, it's something that we could kick around for years. Sure. But I think the fundamental problem here is that it was always kind of a misfit for a RICO theory. Just like the sex trafficking, sex trafficking requires fraud, force, or coercion. Right, so that essentially is the same elements of rape. So you essentially, it's transporting somebody under circumstances that equate to rape. Is something forceful, something fearful. That it just doesn't fit very well here, especially when you're talking about all these people they're orbiting him. They're all trying to advance their own career. And when the defense attorney got up and said, Cassie got $30 million. As a result of her settlement, right? And that was a big move.
Yeah, I wasn't sold for that personally, because I was like, the prosecution came back and be like, she already settled. What's her incentive to come here and lie? What's her incentive to be a part of this? And that for me, but I think the messages, the conduct that arguably contradicts someone being a victim, and I know there's complicated factors between an abuser and a victim, the trauma. I get it. I totally understand it, but I wonder if that's what settled the jury. Okay, I want to move past the verdict because now we have to talk about what's happening next. First thing, when the sentencing hearing is going to happen. So
what's up, no more?
Hearing next week about whether to expedite the sentencing, happening before October 3rd. If both sides agree, great. If they don't, what is a compelling legal argument for the defense to say, we want this sentencing to happen much sooner?
Well, I mean, we know that behind the scenes, what they want, of course, is they expect.
California accident victims, take a look behind me. You're likely owed tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars after your car accident.
A chance that he's going to be released. So that's their big motivating factor, of course. Whether the court abides by that, I mean, it is a substantial change.
Pirate Eye Giver, what up, bro? Nice to have you back.
Right?
But he was just denied bail. He was denied bail again.
He was denied bail again, and I actually learned that on your segment yesterday afternoon as I was sort of doing my preparation for this. But we have to remember that one of the things that he got in trouble for, that Diddy got in trouble for in jail, was using other inmates' calling number. Remember that? So he was calling witnesses in the case from jail using other inmates. That was a direct affront to that judge. That was remember, we had all those attempts at bail that were denied at the very beginning of the case, one after another. This judge, and it's the same judge who's going to sentence him, denied that over and over again. And you and I, again, in another conversation we had on your show, we both said he is screwed now, that he's got no chance because he's violating the rules of the court while in jail. So if he's disobeying the rules of the jail and the directive of the court while he's in custody, how can he be expected to actually follow the terms of a bail agreement when he's out of custody?
Right.
And I think that chicken is coming home to roost again. I mean, I think that's what happened yesterday afternoon. That any judge who has a criminal defendant who behaves like that is an affront to the court itself. It's disrespectful to the court, and it's almost like he couldn't get out of his own way there.
Dude, what the helly? What's up? Trex XHD. How you doing, sir?
Sentencing hearing happens, right? Let's say it happens in a month from now. Let's say it has October 3rd. The question is, what's his sentence? As we mentioned, the prosecution in a filing from yesterday talked about the guidelines.
Is the king's birthday a public holiday in America? Which king?
A pre-sentencing investigation and report. Now, the defense, right, they want 21 months. He's already served almost 10. Talk to us about what you're thinking here, because there is no minimum. The maximum's 10. If the judge were to combine it together, like you said, 20 years, feels highly unlikely that would happen. As we're talking, what is a pre-sentencing report investigation? How would it affect this? What do you think the judge is going to do? There's so many different factors to consider here, and it's not like a murder case where it's like, okay, we know what's going to happen. It's like life in prison without the possibility of parole. It's a given. There's room here. What do you think the judge is going to do?
So in federal court, this is actually very interesting. They rely very heavily on those pre-sentencing investigations. So essentially what will happen is there'll be a federal probation officer, and they do these for almost every case, where they will do their own investigation, where they will talk to family members.
Is the king? It's the English one. It's a holiday where I'm at. Oh, nice, dude. Happy holiday, Seymour. How's everybody doing? Type 1 if you're in the chat. Let me know how old you are and where you're from if you're listening to this stream right now. Let me know how old you are and where you're from if you're listening to this stream right now. Let me know how old you are and where you're from if you're listening to this stream right now.
Members, they'll talk to employers, they'll talk to neighbors, and they will make a recommendation to the court as to suitability for release, suitability for time, and that's something that federal judges traditionally really adhere to. They tend to put a lot of weight on those, far more than they do in state court. The probation department can make a recommendation, but the DA will certainly have more ability, most of the time, to talk a judge in or out of a sentencing recommendation from the probation department. Federal court is different. They really put a lot of weight on those. So that's something that I think is going to be very interesting. And a lot of that will come down to what the individuals involved in that investigation, even though it shouldn't impact their professional recommendation. It's really, I think we're going to see what they thought of the case. You know, did they think he got away with something horrific here? Did they think that he was getting railroaded from the beginning? I think that may reflect in the recommendation of the court, but of course we don't know what that is yet. I don't know. If I'm his defense lawyer, I'm kind of I don't know if I am pressing the gas on that, trying to make this thing go faster. I mean, it's coming up soon enough anyway. I would want to give them the time and not press them, because you don't want a probation officer or anybody in the federal system to feel like they're being rushed.
Right.
Because I think it's very easy to just go, okay, screw it, the guy should stay in.
The prosecution made the point yesterday. They said the point, like, we're not ready to give a really sentencing recommendation. We haven't gotten the report. You know, there's people say, well, maybe he'll get time served, right? You know, he's been locked up. There's other people saying, no, the judge is going to throw the book at him, even though the judge said yesterday, even though I'm denying him bail and I'm looking at certain conditions, this is not reflective or a preview of what my sentencing recommendation or what my sentence will be. But, you know, are we looking at double digits? Are we looking, you think, at 1 to 5 years time served? I know it's so impossible to ask, but it is a very specific charges he was convicted of.
Yeah, we're not looking at double digits.
Okay.
I cannot imagine the court imposing that. And remember, because this law is so old, and we're in an age of Uber, so literally somebody in New York City, a man or a woman who engages the services of a sex worker who lives in New Jersey, and if they pay for their Uber, that technically is a Mann Act violation. Okay, so it's a morality crime, and that it just does not carry the same weight.
Will the judge say, hey, listen, multiple instances he was doing it, not one Uber, he was doing it multiple times. You have 2 alleged victims here, Cassie, Jane, and violence, right? He used violence as one of the reasons to deny him bail. I wonder if he's going to look at, even though he was acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking, different characteristics and components of his relationships with Jane and Cassie and say, this is aggravated.
It's a very interesting question. Can the court aggravate nonviolent offenses that he was convicted of, which are the Mann Act violations? Can he aggravate those when he was acquitted of the more serious charges, essentially acquitted of everything that involved violence, threats, all of that sort of thing? So It's a very, very interesting legal question.
Real quick, asset forfeiture. What is that exactly? How would it work with Mann Act convictions?
I just don't see the feds being on very strong ground to seize a bunch of assets.
My favorite beer is Budweiser.
Most of the federal cases where you have, especially RICO cases, an actual RICO case is an actual corrupt organization that the purpose is, like I had one in Salt Lake City last year. It was a fraud case where it was one of these calling ring scam operations. Every dollar that they made in that, they made out of the bank account of some poor innocent victim who got scooped up in their scheme. So every dollar, everything they bought, every car, every house, everything that they owned was a direct result of money that they gleaned from innocent people. Those are the cases, or narcotics. We see this all the time in narcotics cases where but it's the same principle. All the things that they have are a result of narcotics profits, right? So when you look at one of those cases, you're seizing assets. Here, we've got mansions all over the place. We've got planes. This is a very, very wealthy man who made that money legitimately in Bad Boy Records, in the music industry and in the film industry. That's how he made his money, and that is not a product. And that's where we come full circle to this square peg and round hole regarding a RICO theory on this. The money, he didn't make any money from the freak-offs. He didn't make any money from all of the alleged things he did. He didn't make any money from that horrible video that we saw where he's beating Cassie in that hotel. That's not the source of his income. So I think, again, I don't think that the feds or even the court, I don't think the court would look kindly on that. And there's an old adage in the law that you and I've talked about before. Bad facts make bad law, right? And if they run around and try to seize a bunch of stuff based on this, they're literally taking assets from a citizen that earned them legally. He may be a villain, he may be a bully, he may be a horrible person, but he made that money legally. He was not charged here with tax fraud, which means he paid taxes on it. He had accountants, he put it all together. So I don't see this judge. I think it'd be a very poor move if they try to take a bunch of his stuff. I think that they still have to create a nexus between the Mann Act violations and his property, and I just don't see it.
I don't see it. Okay, well, he might need the money. Why? Because he's got a plethora of civil lawsuits that he's facing now. By the way, in fact, Tenny Garagos had something to say about that yesterday.
Sean Combs has not sexually assaulted anybody. I've been saying this for months. We've said it with each lawsuit that came out, and today that was proven true. The media got it wrong about Sean Combs every single day for nearly 2 years. I ask that for every time you guys see a civil lawsuit, criminal complaints or criminal indictments, you actually take a look and analyze these and see whether or not these are actually going to stand up in a court of law, because today they did not.
So Sean Combs, he is facing dozens of sexual assault lawsuits. In fact, Vulture recently clocked it at 66 women, men, minors, drugging, sexual assault, violence. Matt, first of all, does the criminal case have any effect on the civil suits? And let me just ask you about this. You have at least one of the people who testified in this case who's a plaintiff, right? Dawn Richard, former Danny Kane band member, claims she saw Combs assault Cassie. Combs threatened her allegedly when she tried to intervene. She claims she was sexually harassed. So the idea of the criminal case affecting any of the civil cases, let's start there real quick.
Well, what's very interesting about civil versus criminal cases is when somebody's convicted, of course, in a criminal case, because the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt, it's called collateral estoppel. It means that for a civil case based on the same event or the same actions, you automatically win the civil case. Okay, so in other words, we saw this with Mike Tyson and his rape conviction, right? When he was convicted of rape, because it was beyond a reasonable doubt, and because the civil aspect only requires proof to a preponderance, that woman, a million years ago when that case happened, all she had to do is prove damages. So it's already been proven, all right? What happened here, because he was acquitted of all these allegations, now each one of these plaintiffs bears the burden of proof. So this was not only a huge win for him criminally, this was a big win for Sean Combs when it comes to all those pending civil suits, because now those same people, in theory, would have to come in and testify. And remember, Dawn Richard is a good example. The cross-examination of Dawn Richard was excellent in my assessment. And I trained young prosecutors for years on how to do cross-examinations. I've taught it in law schools. That cross-examination was biting, and it was really good. So now Dawn Richard, in her case, she's been really, ripped apart, I thought, on cross-examination in this case. So now she's kind of wounded. Her civil suit is, her statements were all admissible in that. She really, there are some things she said on the stand that I think were very harmful to her case.
I didn't tap myself. I'm waiting for new ink to come here. It'll happen this month, though, bro. I promise. Just don't let me forget. Sorry if I've been busy. I've just had a baby, and diapers aren't cheap. Let me just say that.
I think that some of them will settle. Some of them may still go to trial.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. If they don't settle, real quick, would he just try to get rid of them as quickly as possible? Does he say, first argument is I'm going to try to, anybody who's suing me under a pseudonym, I'm going to try to convince the court that they can't proceed under a pseudonym, because if they now have to reveal their names, maybe they'll be like, okay, I don't want to move forward. Or does he just move for a motion to dismiss on all of them? Can he try to group them together? I know I'm asking a complicated, like how to deal with 66 lawsuits at once, aside from the money that's going to go into it.
Yeah, each one of those cases will have its own individual merits, and each one will have to be addressed separately. So yeah, he's going to have to pour a lot of money into his legal fund, but he was looking at life in prison. So how much of his fortune?
50 Cent called Diddy the gay Teflon Don. Wow, is that true? That's kind of funny, I suppose, but yeah. Type 1 if you're in the chat, guys. Let me know your age and where you're from if you're in the chat.
Will go into defending all those lawsuits, probably a substantial amount, but as we know, he's the guy has been able to pick out good musical talent and also good legal talent.
Yeah, and it does become a question what his career will do like after. Okay, before I let you go, I have to ask you about this new lawsuit that just came out. We're talking lawsuits. So there was a lawsuit that was filed just 2 days ago. This is a lawsuit filed out in California State Court. Edmund Laurent, former exotic dancer.
I haven't had a single sip of beer in 5 days, maybe? Almost a week. And before that, I only had like 2 sips each day for some reason. I don't know why. Flapjack. I have a flapjack tattoo.
Guess I'll just wait here then.
Don't get into any more trouble!
What is this place?
Right, isn't it? Welcome to the muscle.
The muscle?
You mean like the clam or the body part?
I'm afraid you're wrong on birth accounts. Magical undersea lair.
Whoa!
Please come in and wipe your feet. Wait! You don't have to. Say hello to the ab. The auto boot brusher. My boys tell me you have a fast wheel. Is it true?
Oh, it's true. She's the fastest. You know how I feel about bragging.
She's pretty fast.
Just pretty fast, hmm? Come, I have something that may interest you.
What happened to Michael Madsen? I heard he was found. Who's that? Who's Michael Madsen? Michael Reservoir Dogs. Is that what you're talking about?
We have some breaking news from Hollywood. Actor Michael Madsen has died. He was 67.
That woman desires her revenge.
The actor is best known for his work in the Quentin Tarantino films Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and The Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He died today. Madsen was found unresponsive by deputies responding to a 911 call to his Malibu home. The sheriff's department says no foul play is suspected, and it appears he died of natural causes.
Work today is broken.
We have some breaking news from Hollywood. Actor Michael Madsen has died. He was 67.
That woman.
Natural causes. mommy. Hurry up, mommy. You gotta be the cutest little baby I've ever seen. Take Diddy, not Mr. Blanc. How's everything going with you and your girl? No more, no more. Are you guys doing good? Who else is in the chat? Homo? No more? Oh, we have two no more. Wait, no, we have unknown and no more. How you guys doing? Unknown and no more. She finds this sensory fascinating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh, commercial.
Battery's dead. We had one hurricane went through and the power line went down.
Love you. I love you so much. Glad to hear, bro. You're doing good with your girl. And yes, I have a baby. This is my baby, Atachi. She's 1 month old. Me and Alexandra, my wife, made her. I love her so much. And she thinks I'm stinky. She says, "You're stinky, Dad." You're making me fall asleep too. This is snoring. This is so boring. Daddy is snoring. She's so cute and cuddly, dude. She like relaxes me and she's the cutest baby I've ever seen. She's the cutest baby. Maybe we gotta put you for a nap. You're falling asleep. God damn it, she's so freaking cute, dude. I literally can't take it. She's so cute. It freaking drives me insane, dude. She's too cute for me to even look at sometimes. Babies are fun. They grow up fast. My firstborn was a preemie. And half the weight yours was when born. How are you doing? Are you and Alexandra getting any sleep? It's different. Yeah, our life is very different now. It's so different. It is I don't even know what to say, man. I'm fucking traumatized, basically, but in the most beautiful way ever. Having kids is the most beautiful traumatic thing ever. It is a blessing beyond all blessings, and a lot of work and a lot of growth and development in your relationship and with your families, and it's a lot of fucking shit to unpack, but it's really well worth it and the most beautiful thing life has to offer. But very, 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 very difficult, I should say. But it's worth the squeeze. Wait until she starts laughing. I know, dude. I bought her. I need batteries. Somebody sent me $5 for batteries. No, I'm just kidding. But I bought these. I have 3 of these little pads. These are touch censored lights. And I wanted to set them up on a little display so she could hit them with her feet or her hands. And you just they change colors when you touch them. Kinda cool. I don't know, man. I bought these on sale at Walmart for $2 because I thought they were cool. Because she started grabbing our hair and stuff and squeezing our titties. She gives titty twisters and pulls your hair out now. So I wanted to set these up as like a little mobile that she could punch and kick. Sent you $1? Oh shit, we gotta fucking take a sip. I haven't had a sip of beer in 5 days. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Phil sent you $1. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. $1 sips. Ow! Shit. For sure, let it help her develop her senses and curiosity. Thank you, Phil. This big sippers for Philip. No more, I think, right? Yes, no more, aka Phil. Whoa. Cheers to you, good sir. Oh, shit. Cheers to you, good sire. Good sire. Beats. Let's do a little freestyle for Phil. Thank you, Phil, for the $1 donation.
Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You write down all of these great ideas, big plans, new projects, and then
Oh, shit. Yo, thank you, Phil, for the $1. I don't do pills, I sip beer, holla. Yeah, I like honey Dijon, kettle chips. They're my favorite crunchies up in this bitch. I be hanging, I be slanging, I be eating Lifesaver gummies and Shaquille O'Neal ones too. Those ones taste like shit, but I wanted to try them. Yeah. Anyways, tomorrow is 4th of July, so we're gonna I'm falling asleep. I just had a baby. Stay inside. Yeah. Tomorrow's 4th of July and we're gonna stay inside because we just had a baby. And I'm falling asleep. Dad raps. Spent all day taking out the laundry. Then I went to Walmart and bought some diapers. That's real gangster shit right there. Yeah, buying diapers at the store. I'm on some new dad rap. Hold on, gotta take a nap. Where was I? I was trying to get some shut-eye. I was at the store buying diapers. Yeah, it's dad rap. Hold up, I gotta take a nap. I was trying to get some shut-eye, but I can't because this baby's crying. Baby's whining. Mama's tired. And I'm sipping beer for $1 because I don't give a fuck. Buying diapers. Doing dad raps. Hold up, gotta take a dad nap. Mama's tired. And now I'm doing dad raps, drinking beer, dollar sips. Cause I don't give a fucking shit, bitch. Dad raps. Take a quick nap. Buying diapers. Alright, I'm done rapping, guys. rap career's over. I'm having children. Yeah, I'm the flyest in the building. Yeah. People see me at the store, get surprised and moan in my ear. I don't know what for, but I look different than anybody they've ever seen before. So they either say, I love your hair, bro, what's up? Or they moan. I'm not sure if they're fearful, curious, or just surprised. But they've never seen a guy that looks like me acting so fly. These are true stories from the streets. I mean true stories from inside the Walmart aisles. Up and down those bitches. Buying diapers. Doing dad raps, taking naps. Buying diapers, doing dad raps, taking naps. Mama's tired, I'm doing dollar sips of beer. Cause I don't give a fuck if you're queer. We keep it straight. Yeah, it's dad raps. Take a nap. Mama's tired doing $1 sips of beer. Cause I don't give a fuck if you're queer. We keep it straight. Get away if you're gay. Dad raps. Keep it straight. Thank you. No more for the dollar. You're good. You're a good sir. Oh my god. Oh, I smell like shit. Dad raps. Yep. Dude, I feel like my body's malfunctioning. What the fuck? We need some more beats. I like that beat. That beat got me. Dad raps. Hi. Holy shit, you're heavy. How much do you weigh? Holy fuck. My leg.
I'm heavy.
My leg.
Heavy.
Heavy hitters. Mama's got a big keister. Daddy's rapping and he doing.
Post pregnancy weight. Not that heavy.
You stink.
Like what?
You smell like a wet dryer lint. Have a seat. I don't want to cuddle while she sleeps. I'm streaming. Have a seat.
I thought you'd want to hang out.
You can have a juicy, okay? And I'll sit right next to you. You want the bar? Alright, I'll bring it to you.
I'm obsessed with these.
You're a little fucker, you know that? You like your juicy? You like your juicy? You like your bar? And your juicy? You want some juicy? You want to play with the lights? If you touch it, it changes colors. Do you know what color this is? Yeah. What color is that?
You're weird.
At Simply, we work hard to keep things simple. And nature works even harder.
Can I have some of your juicy?
Simply, say yes to
Thank you.
simple.
Big things are happening at Mathis Homes. Save all summer long with price drop alerts all over the store. Their suppliers have cut prices and they're passing those savings on to you. Get new lower prices. with
Uh-oh,
favorite
hold on,
finance
I
as
drank
low as
all your
$1.99.
juicy.
Plus, get 12-month no interest financing. Check out these price drop alerts and save at your furniture superstore, Mathis Homes.
God. Never mind, too late. You're slow. Justin Bieber type beat.
I'm gonna put you on some.
Haley Baldwin documentary.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the F?
From the undeniable hits of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC to the breakout success of One Direction and the Jonas Brothers, every generation has their teenage heartthrob, and for teens and preteens in 2009, that position was unmistakable.
Goals. Sharing juicy juice with Bae.
Known as believers, Justin fans were known to pack arenas, flood social media with endless posts, and even
Juicy
cause
by
near
bIG.
riots
Comedic
and
sketches. Where the
disappearances.
fuck
This
have you
behavior
been,
was
dude?
so
I feel like I haven't
common
seen
that
you
it
in
was even
years,
given a
dude.
name. Bieber fever
Holy
was
shit.
taking over the world, with one famous case in Australia where they had to cancel the show after only a few minutes as 8 girls in the crowd fainted. After
8 girls
catching a glimpse of
fainted.
the artist.
Ambulance
Well,
is
teens
coming.
And preteens around the world
Oh
dreamed of
my
being
god.
Justin's baby. Believers would never get the chance and eventually grow into fandom. But what if I told you one believer never gave up? In fact, she was there the whole time, lurking in the
so good, I could
shadows,
eat, like,
using
10
her
of them.
famous friends
No,
and
you
Dad's
get
Hollywood
sick.
I
connections
already
to turn
finished
her
2 boxes.
13-year-old
Yeah.
dream
What the
into
fuck is wrong with you?
No, I
reality.
finished-
And how
finished one
relentless
box, never
ambition
mind.
and a hidden agenda
Not 2.
turned Haley Baldwin into one less lonely girl.
One less.
Following the 2009 release of Justin Bieber's debut singles, One Time and One Less Lonely Girl, he was invited onto the Today Show to perform them. Unbeknownst to Justin, this appearance would completely change his life, as Haley Baldwin's father, Stephen Baldwin,
He's
would
creepy,
take her
he scares me.
backstage to meet
Stephen
15-year-old Justin Bieber when she was just
Oh, every time you talk, I yawn.
Like many 13-year-old girls at the time, Haley likely had a crush on Justin.
That's
and
her?
her father, Steven, was using his connections to do something sweet for his daughter. However,
That's her.
this wouldn't be the only time Haley was around Justin before he really knew who she was. For example,
5
Haley would
million
also
people watch
appear
this
at
shit?
Justin's
Yeah.
Toyota concert series
went viral.
performance in Rockefeller Plaza.
Oh my God,
before
this is so
following him
boring.
to Los Angeles to
You
attend
didn't even-
the
it
premiere
didn't
of
even
his
get to
movie,
the good
Never
part
Say
yet.
This
Never,
guy's
where she
voice
can be
is
seen
annoying as
watching
shit.
from the
Just
sidelines
watch
as he
it.
walks the purple
Just watch
carpet.
it.
Stephen
I
Baldwin
can't.
would actually pull some
Can we
strings.
turn off the
No,
volume?
there's 7 people watching.
All right,
They want
fine.
to know how are you gonna know what's going on?
I can't hear this guy's voice. Put on closed
Dude,
captions.
and I don't like.
Click that, and I can read it. This guy's voice is god awful.
Well, you just.
Okay, go back then. Oh my God, you really want me to make sure I don't miss a fucking square inch of this show, do you? While attending the premiere of, I'll narrate it for the people.
Okay, hurry up! You're missing all the good
Well,
stuff.
start it over, dude.
I don't want to start it completely.
Actually, Pull Some Strings allowed Haley to meet Justin. Again, this would give us the first photo together. 4 months later, Haley would even be photographed posing with a photo of Justin Bieber on the cover of M Magazine while attending the premiere of 2011 movie Monte Carlo. Something iconic about that is that Justin's photograph to his new-time girlfriend Selena Gomez, who also starred in Monte Carlo movie, would soon become Haley's arch nemesis. Bieber Gomez versus Haley, 2012. Justin Bieber and Selena would enjoy a date night together where they would eat sushi and go to the movie theater. However, paparazzi photos and videos would reveal that none other than Haley Baldwin was lurking in the shadows, keeping an eye on Justin, if possible, at all times. Coincidentally, Haley does have a famous father in the Hollywood circle, smaller than it appears, except in 2019, a self-proclaimed Justin Bieber fan posted a video on YouTube where she claims to have helped set up Haley and Justin. Proceeds to show this is an open documentary. I used to be a fan of Justin Believers. Now saying I used to be a fan of the Justin Biebers, and account with over 200,000 followers. I was his biggest fan. He was a niche on the internet celebrities amongst the Justin Bieber fans. I was a believer, except I was Haley, 15-year-old Baldwin. Dude, this is retarded. I can't.
You have to actually listen to it.
I wrote Sutai said.
Oh God! Turn it off. I wrote to you. You already showed me this. This is so old.
But she said, "What hotel is Justin staying at? Kylie and I want to know."
$2 donation, thank
When
you.
she would give Haley
Yeah, they like
information
this.
on what hotel Justin Bieber was
Thank you.
staying at, Haley would either book a room there or eat at the hotel restaurant. Haley's goal was to cross paths with Justin Bieber as much as possible, in hopes that he one day considered her a potential partner.
We would give her that info because she would either stay at that hotel or she would eat at that
fuck is
hotel
that
or do
fucking bitch
whatever
saying?
at that hotel so she could bump into him. Haley Baldwin went from trying to bump into Justin Bieber at the Satai, the London, to marriage. It's so iconic. Like, everyone's making a joke that it was her 10-year plan. Like, get it.
Dana even shows tweets a now 16-year-old Haley Baldwin sent to her, where Haley discusses Justin Bieber's height and speculates how much more he will grow, something you would expect a superfan to tweet. Even back in
I didn't even tweet
2013,
like that.
Haley was serious about protecting her man, and would
Oh,
ask
thank you, Phil. I
if
owe
the
you 2
DMs Dana
sips.
tweeted from Justin
Big
Bieber
sippers.
were
No, I
real
thought
or
you
not,
weren't
with
doing
Dana
that anymore.
confirming to her that she was just making a joke.
You're
Although
not-
it's
wait,
difficult to
what?
believe everything you hear on the
said you were
internet, it's
fasting.
worth mentioning that Haley Baldwin
You said you had-
actually
you haven't had that in
participated
2
in a
weeks.
I had a
Justin
sip
Bieber
already.
fan video orchestrated
I thought you
by
weren't
Dana.
doing that.
After Justin
For a week,
Bieber
2
and
weeks or
Selena
something.
Gomez
Only on
released
stream,
a
$1
lip sync
sips.
video to
No.
Carly Rae
You
Jepsen's
said you
Call
were-
Me Maybe, Dana
You're
and
not
several
doing
other
that.
Justin Bieber superfans recreated it,
don't
with
like
none
doing
other
that.
than Haley
No,
Baldwin
I
sending
thought you were
Dana a clip
fasting.
of
You were doing
herself
so
to
good.
include in the fan recreation. At this point in time, Justin Bieber and Selena
Yeah, I am.
Gomez
I
have
only am
broken up
doing.
and gotten back
I'm only
together
drinking if
multiple
somebody
times.
sends a
But
dollar.
2014 would mark the beginning of their
Thank you, no more.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
luckily
Phil.
for Haley, she had become close with Kylie and Kendall Jenner. This is important because Justin was also friends with the Jenner sisters. And because they now shared mutual friends, Haley's access to Justin had never been easier. She would no longer have to rely on believer fan accounts to give her intel on his location. Now she could simply ask her friends.
This location now, her friend's new connection with the Jenner sisters proved valuable, and things were looking up for Haley. After she was spotted getting dinner with Justin, going to a movie, and then going back to his house, where she wouldn't be seen leaving until the following morning. However, with Justin's heart healing from the recent breakup with Selena and New Year's Eve quickly approaching, Haley had her eyes on the prize and didn't want to risk Selena ruining that for her. It's a little loose fun, but fans speculate that Selena's last-minute New Year's Eve trip to Dubai with Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid was actually a setup to put Haley and Justin together with Selena. Out of the country, the chances of Justin and Selena rekindling their relationship at midnight were now zero. Unfortunately for Haley, Justin would make it clear that he wasn't looking for a new partner and instead was more focused on having fun. And just like old times, Haley would defend his territory after Hai was photographed leaving a building. Haley was posted herself on social media driving to change the radio station after Hai song started playing. Can you change the station, please? This is when Haley really started to lose the plot. Dude, we are not watching this. This is garbage. Look at, there's a photo of them burning, dude. What kind of fucking witchcraft are you into?
That is weird. I don't know why they. Should we skip some of this? This is boring.
Should we skip? We should fucking find a new video to watch. I think is what we should fucking do.
Okay. What is your review on it?
Dude, that was god awful. What do you mean? My brain hurts. I have a headache.
Oh my god, people are really just like after Haley Bieber.
That looks like me.
Where? Right there?
Yeah.
It does. He looks like you. That's why I'm with you. Look, you guys look alike. I'm gonna throw it back to my favorite Justin Bieber song.
Dude, what? No more Justin Bieber.
Let's do one time and see what you think of it. I remember when I downloaded this on my little iTunes thing, I spent like, how much? I think I spent like $15 on this music video for my iPod, and I had it on there for a very long time. Back in the day.
Will protect you.
Watch everyone just start leaving because they hate Justin.
Dude, you are so freaking annoying.
I was gonna say, I wonder
They
if
are
people are
leaving.
leaving because they hate Justin Bieber.
It's so annoying. You literally are like a little fucking toddler, dude. Get out of here, tyke. Go.
There's people leaving, Garrett.
I know.
I think I'm.
Move.
You lost your viewers in like 5 seconds.
Move. Dude, you really are fucking annoying. Holy shit. You really are annoying, guys. You guys see what I have to put up with all day? Holy shit, dude. Someone save me from my own sorrow. So, dude, no, thank you. Please go away. You stink, too.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Like what?
Like dirty feet.
You're a liar.
Dirty feet and wet dryer lint. You made me lose all my viewers.
It was on purpose so you'd come hang out with me.
Yeah, right.
Dude, you had 7 people in there and I dropped them too.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Bieber repulses most people. Dude, I feel legitimately ill from that. And I don't mean really cool and awesome. I mean I'm coming down with a sickness. fucking diseased. Wow.
I don't trust any guy who's good at something.
You're gonna have to go inside if you say anything before 11:45.
And I get it. Listen, I get bitches love the guitar. It's a romantic instrument. If I had a guitar, I would pull it out right now. You know, I'm Estonian. We didn't grow up on the guitar. Eastern Europeans, we grew up on the accordion. You ever hear an accordion? It literally sounds like communism. If you put your ear close enough to an accordion, you can literally hear it go, there is never enough bread.
My viewers are going back up.
You don't get wet to an accordion, you fucking kill yourself to one. Thank you so much.
Ari Maddie. His reputation for doing twice as much work as he has to continues with a new 2 minute and 5 seconds. Debuted right here at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. I gotta tell you, you keep dressing like that, citizenship is right around the corner. Look at that.
A year ago at an open mic, look at me now, Matt Rife, shining my shoes.
One of the top grossing ticket selling comedians of last year, shining your shoe.
If you get bored, put on SpongeBob and wait and bleed Slipknot. What? Alright guys, I'm gonna get off this and hang out with my girlfriend in real life, even though she's annoying as fuck and like Justin Bieber more than me because she's 12. That's a joke.